Hello, everyone. This is author, motivational speaker, and dating coach Matthew C. Horne, and I'll bring you a video tonight titled Sexually Attractive Men Never Put in Work After They Leave the House. It's brought to you by my books, How to Get Beautiful Women and Everything Else You Want from Life, in addition to How to Be Appealing to Successful Black Men for Black Women. They're both available at my website, www.matthewchorne.com. Get your copies. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe, and to continue to push me up the algorithm so I can continue to bring you these elevated messages. But let's get right to it. Sexy, attractive men never put in work after they leave the house. And I have to go deeper into the sexy, attractive man, and I have to let you know that this video is derived from the Monday Zoom conversation that I have in my Matthew C. Horne Dating Coaching Community on the school platform. I want everyone to sign up for this platform. And once you hear this message, you're going to want to sign up. But going deeper into the sexy, attractive man, I had to recollect, some of my motivational phrases, from 20 years ago when I first got into the motivational speaking industry, the self-development industry. And I talked about how we all have gifts, talents, abilities, and a unique way and perspective that we see the world. You've heard me say that before. And how, going deeper, the sexy, attractive man is a man who is completely optimized, and he has a complete, full, and clear awareness of himself. That's what he offers to the world. He doesn't coerce anyone to want to be into his space. He has such a full awareness of himself and his genius that he offers himself to the world, and the world responds accordingly. But going deeper, you can take inventory of the best that you have to offer to life. That's your gifts, your talents, your abilities, and your unique way and perspective that you see the world. Now, mastering yourself is understanding that that's your hand. That's what life dealt you. But truly mastering yourself is taking the best card in your hand that life dealt you and maximizing that. That's when you've maximized yourself. That's when you've emerged into your genius. And as I said, as a young 20-something-year-old motivational speaker, I said every human being possesses a genius, but it's cultivated genius that makes it to the bright lights. And so if you can take full inventory of yourself and you're not concerned with looking to the right or to the left of you, you're not looking at what any other man has to offer to the world and comparing yourself. You're comparing yourself to yourself, and that's how you can discover your best self and understand the best offering that you have to offer to the world. That is the sexy, attractive man. So when you can identify the best card that you have in your hand, the best attribute, the best talent, the best ability, and you cultivate that, that's what emerges into your genius. And that's why you don't do the work when you leave the house. That's a lot of work to be done before you leave the house. It's truly embracing and cultivating and understanding your best self. That's when you're a recognizable showpiece. You're an energetic field at that point. When you've inhaled yourself and you understood yourself to the point that you know that you're giving your best and you've developed your best. That's when you've discovered, and that's when you operate in, and that's when your genius emerges. And when your genius emerges, that's the only thing that you're concerned with offering to the world. So your appearance is going to change when you have a deeper and full understanding of yourself. That's why you don't have to do any work when you leave the house. You don't have to impress any woman. You don't have to coerce any woman. You don't have to sell any woman because you're completely sold on your true self. When you understand your genius, your appearance is going to change. Your appearance is going to be in accordance with allowing the world to be receptive to the genius that you have to offer to it. You're going to know what colors to wear, what style to wear, and overall, how to present yourself. Because when you have a full understanding of yourself, now you're your best. So your best is going to reflect in your appearance. That's why you don't have to try to craft an appearance. You don't have to mimic an appearance. You just show up as yourself based on what you know that you have to be and based on your offering that you understand that you have to give. That's when your appearance comes into focus. And so that's what you offer to the world. That's what you offer to women. Is your absolute best. You're walking in your genius. You're operating in your genius. You're an energetic departure. You're a man who is to be absorbed at that point. And so you go out into the world and you're going to meet some women. That's just the natural way that things go. You're going to meet some women because women are wanting to meet you because you're at your absolute best. You are a departure from the normal men that she encounters. These men want to sell themselves to her. You're more concerned with the women who recognize the magnitude of man that you are. That is your collection of women. And one thing that came up in the Zoom call last Monday night, with the members of my dating coaching community was a rotation of women. And that is a very common thing that men want to build, is a rotation of women. It's a cornerstone of the average man's identity, how many women, how beautiful they are that he has around them. But when you are walking in your genius, you're the quintessential sexually attractive man that's spiritually grounded, mentally grounded, physically grounded, emotionally grounded, based on having a full awareness of yourself. When you're that man, you don't need a rotation. You just have a collection of women who recognize who you are. There's a stark contrast between a sexually attractive man and the women who are around him, and the average man and the women that he wants to be around him. See, the average man wants to have a rotation. The dangerous thing about wanting to have a rotation of women is that now you become any man. If the woman looks good enough and you want a collection of women who look good enough, you will become any man that you need to be to keep those women. And that's dangerous because you can't progress in life if you're any man. You have to be the same man. And so the sexy attractive man, he's not concerned with the rotation, but he still has a collection of women. So his quote unquote rotation is a collection of women who recognize the exactness of the man that he's evolved into because he's fully inhaled himself. He's taken his best attributes and he's identified the best attributes of the best attributes that he's been given. And that's where he plants his flag. That's where he develops. He's given the absolute best. So he doesn't just look good, he radiates good from his pores. Because he knows that he's given the absolute best version of himself to life every day. And a man that's concerned with keeping a rotation, he's any man. Meaning that he can shapeshift, manipulate, and be whoever he feels he needs to be to keep the women that he wants to keep around him. That man is running in circles. That man is chasing women and convincing them to stay. He's any man. He's whoever he needs to be to keep women around him to make him feel good about himself. But the sexy attractive man who's operating in his genius, he's giving his best. He's identified his best. He's cultivated his best. And he's getting the best from life every day. He understands his placement. That man is more concerned with the collection of women that respond to him. So the average man is going to have a rotation of women that he's convincing to stay. He's shape-shifting, he's manipulating, he's lying. He's doing whatever he feels he needs to do because he hasn't come to a full awareness of himself. But the sexy, attractive man, he doesn't coerce, he doesn't manipulate, he doesn't connive. He has women that are an exact representation of who he is. They recognize him that way. And so that man, he understands the value of women. The sexy, attractive man understands the value of women. He doesn't overvalue women. He values the women that value him the way that he values himself. So he doesn't preemptively value women just because she's beautiful. He allows the women to remain in his space that are valuable because they value him the way that he values himself. That's his collection of women. But the average man, once again, he overvalues women and he becomes whatever he needs to do to keep the most attractive women in his space so he can brag to his friends about, look at all these bad women I got. But the sexy attractive man, he's gorgeous. He's a benchmark. He's a milestone. So he's not concerned with how the beauty of the women, because no woman is more beautiful than him, because he's at his precipice. He understands what he's offering. He's a departure from the man that any woman, regardless of her beauty, is normally going to encounter. That's why his collection of women are solid. He's able to remain in a space to continue to explore his genius. He's able to give the best of himself to the world because he has a balanced space. A man who is concerned with having a rotation is going to give an inferior version of himself to the world every day because he's shape-shifting, he's manipulating, which means he has not found solid grounding and footing in life. A very stark contrast. A very stark contrast. So if you're going to reach the precipice of your self-development as a man and have the right collection of women, not a rotation, but the right collection of women, then that means you have to have a full understanding and acceptance of your true and highest self. And once you develop that true understanding and acceptance of your truest and highest self, now your world is balanced. You don't have to fight to keep women around. You only keep the women around who recognize you in the full magnitude of who you are. And that's how your world stays balanced. You're not fighting to keep them. You're fighting to keep yourself. And when you fight to keep yourself, you're concerned with maximizing yourself every day. And you're making sure that you're developing yourself and you're sharpening your best axe. Whatever that best card that life dealt you, because you took full inventory of your hand, you're sharpening that and you're offering that. You're prosperous financially. You're prosperous spiritually because you're fulfilled. You have balance. And that's when the right women materialize as a sexy, attractive man. But if you're not the sexy, attractive man, the right women cannot materialize because you're forcing women into your space through coercion and manipulation. You're any man. And if you're any man, you're never going to discover the true man that is inside of you. You're never going to discover exactly what you were sent here to deliver to this world. Because you haven't discovered yourself. So this was a message about self-discovery, about the importance of taking inventory of yourself and not looking outside of yourself and maximizing the best that you discovered about yourself. There's work involved. And that's why the sexy, attractive man, he doesn't do any work after he leaves the house. He's done enough work before he left the house. It's foreign language to him to try to coerce a woman to come to his side, to try to negotiate with a woman. Because there's such a collection of women that recognize he's such a departure that they want to remain in his space. And he's not worried about losing any woman. See, the thing about the sexy, attractive man, he's literally become sex. When you become sex, you don't have to put in work to get sex when you leave the house. When you become sex, that means you're in full bloom. You're at your absolute best. Nothing is missing, nothing is lacking. Your appearance is on point. Your physique is on point. Your energy is on point. Your essence is on point. Because you understand that you have to offer the world your best if you want the best to come back. So you're intrinsically motivated to be your best. The other men are motivated to develop an appearance to attract certain things to him. But it's done from a false place because it's done for things that are outside of him. The sexy, attractive man moves in accordance from within. Meaning that everything that comes to him is exact. It's supposed to be there. He's balanced. And he's given his best. So naturally the best is coming back to him from the world. And he's going to have a collection of beautiful women. He's not going to have a rotation. He's going to have a collection of beautiful women. Men that are concerned with a rotation, they will shapeshift, they will manipulate, they'll do anything to keep these women around. They're so afraid of losing them. They're putting unnecessary energy into keeping them. But the sexy attractive man is putting the necessary amount of energy into keeping himself. And so he has a free flow of women because women recognize the winners. And then your world is balanced. See, an example that I gave in my Zoom call last night in my dating coach community on a school platform. The example that I gave in regards to this subject matter, I had to broaden it once the question was asked to me about a rotation. I was able to remember when I met this girl who was an exact representation of what I like. If you know me, you've been watching my videos for a while, you know I like me some tall red bones, man. I'm tall as a motherfucker. I love me some tall red bones, man. That's my thing. And so I met this girl, and she was, probably 5'9", 5'10", red bone, long hair, just how I like them. And she hit me up the next day, and she wanted to see me. We made no plans, nothing. She wanted to see me, but I had a woman who was giving me the exact experience that I want, who didn't look like her, but was attractive, but was more attractive than her because this woman had proven that she can give me the experience that I want. She recognized the magnitude of man that I am. She moved in accordance with the magnitude of man that I am. So this tall, light-skinned girl wanted to see me, but she had not proven herself above the woman who didn't look as good as her that was in my space. She was a fixture because she had a fixated recognition of who I was. So I told the girl, I said, listen, I'm not available tonight, but I can maybe see you tomorrow. And this girl was so societally good looking that she couldn't understand why I just didn't drop everything and wanted to see her. And I told her, I said, I can't see you. I'll see you tomorrow. And so she was puzzled, but she was impressed because I was a man who was solidified in my identity and wasn't concerned with bumping up another chick in my rotation, adding a more attractive chick to my rotation. She wasn't more attractive to me than I am to myself. So she had to get in line. That's what an identity is. Women have to get in line. And so I kicked it with the girl that I originally had plans with. And then the next day came and that tall, light-skinned girl hit me up. And then I saw her. But she had to wait because I already had a woman who was in recognition of who I was. And that tall, light-skinned girl, she eventually fell off because she was married and, she played games and stuff like that. And, we had a good experience. We did what we did when we saw each other the next day. But the whole point of it is that women are not promoted out of order when you have a fixated identity and you understand the magnitude of who you are and what you're offering to the world every day. So women come into your space in order. That's called a collection of women. But when you want a rotation, then these women can come out of order. Their semblance of order is attractiveness when you don't have an identity. But when you have an identity, a true fixated understanding of yourself, then women have to come in the right order, meaning that their presence in your life is fixated on how they see you, not based on their beauty. Because no woman can be more beautiful than you when you're gorgeous. And when you have a full understanding of yourself, you're gorgeous. Meaning that nothing is going to come into your life. You're not going to allow anything into your life that is not in exact accordance with recognizing the magnitude of man that you've become. That's when you're gorgeous, and that's when your life is balanced. So you don't feel the need to have a rotation. You have a natural collection of women who recognize who you are. You don't feel the need to do any work when you leave the house. It's impossible because of the amount of work that you did on yourself before you left the house. Before you left the house is figurative. Before you left the house in reality is the amount of work that you've done on yourself in accordance with your full understanding of who you are. You've taken inventory of your gifts, your talents, your abilities, the best that you have to offer to the world. You've taken a look at your unique way and perspective of the world, and you see, you know what? The way I see the world, it aligns with the gifts and talents and abilities I've been given. So your true self comes into focus. And then you can identify, you know what? I have these great attributes, but this is my best attribute. And every man has a best attribute. And you want to know what your best attribute turns into when you cultivate it? It turns into your genius. And when you give the world your genius every day, then you're never concerned with trying to convince anyone or anything to be in your space, because you know you're giving your best. And once you know you're giving your best, there's an exact space for the right things to materialize and remain in your space. Your life is elevated. So that's why you don't have to do any work when you leave the house, because you've done so much work before you left the house, figuratively. You've taken full inventory of yourself. You're a deadly man out here. You're a man who cannot be coerced. You can't be controlled. You can't be manipulated. And you can't be moved, because you have such a solid fixation of understanding and acceptance of who you are. That is the sexy, attractive man. And that's why he doesn't feel the need to put in an iota of work when he leaves the house. So you leave the house, you meet women, you're talking to them, you're feeling the energy, you're not trying to convince them or coerce them to come to your side. And if they're not energetically in recognition of who you are when you talk to them, you literally walk away from them, because you're never going to walk away from yourself. Everything is balanced. But if you feel the need to have a rotation, then your life is completely out of balance, because you're trying to keep things there. A sexy, attractive man is never afraid to lose anything, because he's completely found himself. And when you found yourself, you're recognizable to women, because you're a safe space for them to plant themselves. They're looking for leadership. They're looking for a man that has an identity that's greater than her beauty. They're looking for a man that they can't manipulate or coerce, because he's so fixated within himself that he's not afraid to lose her, and she has to get in line no matter how good she looks. You're a safe landing space for all women. That's why you have a collection of women. And ultimately, like I've said in some of my previous videos, the right woman out of that collection will rise to the top. When you all connect to each other the right way, that dealing with no one else makes sense. That's when you found your match. There's a lot of men who have a rotation of women, they done missed their wives. They had the right woman, but they're so concerned with the latest, newest, attractive woman that they didn't recognize that there was a woman in their space that viewed them exactly the way that they needed to view him in order to build a future with. That woman was there for the right reasons. They missed it because they missed themselves. And so you have a collection of women as a sexy, attractive man who's fully absorbed himself, inhaled himself, recognized himself, accepted himself. And then that woman that you connect with, it's because she recognized you the way that you recognize yourself. She rose to the top because an emotional connection developed. Yeah, you had a collection of women. You had some great times with these women. You gave them an exact experience because you decided what kind of man you're going to be. You understand yourself. So you're having great experiences. But from time to time, one is going to rise up. And she captivates you because you've captivated yourself. She sees you how you see yourself. And forces outside of both of you develop to the point that you all connect. And then you can drop the other women off because you're not afraid to lose. You're not afraid to lose them. That's how you ultimately find the one. Yeah, she's going to come out of your collection of women. That's just how it is. And she's able to climb to the top because she's in recognition of you. And since you're in recognition of you, you can recognize her that she recognizes you the way that you recognize yourself. That's how you find the right woman to pair yourself with. But there's so many men out here, they're on the wrong side of divorce. 80% of women initiating divorce, they went for the most beautiful thing, smoking, that gave them a half an ounce of attention. That woman validated them because they were not validated within themselves. And so you will ultimately find the right woman as a sexy, attractive man because you're validated within yourself, meaning that you can't move outside of yourself. And the right woman has to be in full recognition of who you are and the understanding that you have of yourself. Why were you able to do that? Because you did the work before you left the house. You didn't feel the need to coerce her, manipulate her, offer her things for her to come to your side, because you were fully on your side based on a full awareness and acceptance and understanding of yourself. That's what this game is really about. Becoming the sexy, attractive man. That no one can pull you outside of yourself because you're so fixated within yourself. I've said it as best I could. This has been Matthew C. Horne, author, motivational speaker, and dating coach. Bring you a video tonight. I brought you some heavy game. Just talking about how the sexy, attractive man, he doesn't do any work when he leaves the house. It's brought to you by my books, How to Get Beautiful Women and Everything Else You Want from Life. In addition to How to Be Appealing to Successful Black Men for Black Women. They're both available at my website, www.matthewchorne.com. Get your copies. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe, and to continue to push me with the algorithm so I can continue to bring you these elevated messages. And I hear you all in the comments. Every day, you're asking me to make videos on particular topics. I'll make a custom video, but you have to make a donation of $150 or more to my donation information that's in my video description, my PayPal and my Cash App. You make a donation of $150 or more to my PayPal and my Cash App for your custom video. And there's a note feature on PayPal and Cash App. You put the subject of the video that you want me to make in the note feature. Really simple. And your video is on my channel, Matthew C. Horne Dating, on YouTube in 24 hours or less. If your subject matter is more in depth than just leaving a note on the note feature on PayPal and Cash App, then you still make a donation of $150 or more, and then you email me at matt@matthewchorne.com with your more nuanced and more in-depth description of what you want me to make your video on. And your video will be on my channel in 24 hours or less. Really simple, really streamlined, and I enjoy making the videos based on the donations. Really customized. I enjoy that. It pushes the depth of what I have to offer. And also, if my messages have been of value to you tonight, if your thought process have been elevated, and you have a better understanding of yourself, you can delineate the regular man versus the sexy, attractive man. You understand the genius that you have to offer, how to take full inventory of yourself. I got very specific tonight. And if it's been of value to you, and you have a better and more heightened understanding of yourself, I want you to make a donation to my PayPal and my Cash App. That's my video description. I'll never tell you what to donate. Donate according to how you've been impacted. I never take a donation for granted, because your donations continue to help me to elevate and grow and move forward as I continue to bring you this elevated game on a regular and help you to elevate, grow, and move forward as well. If you're in need of coaching, if your thought process once again have been elevated by hearing my message, if there's impediments and struggles and challenges that you've been facing in the dating space and you've been unable to overcome them, I am your bridge to your breakthrough. If you're in need of coaching, if you have different issues that you've been unable to overcome and you have a desire to overcome those issues, I'm your dating coach. If you need dating coaching, email me at matt@matthewchorne.com. Leave coaching in the subject matter of the email. Leave your name, your phone number, and whatever issue that you're facing in the dating space in the body of the email. I will get right back to you. I return the email with the terms of the coaching, and once you accept the terms, we'll set a date and time. Coaching will commence. Everything's easy and streamlined over here, so reach out to me for coaching. I'm still looking for individuals to fill the 5 slots that I have for the year-long coaching and mentorship program with me. In this year-long coaching and mentorship program, you're going to get a minimum of 3 coaching calls per week. I'm going to do an assessment of exactly where you are and where you want to be, and I want to implement a coaching strategy uniquely designed for you. So you get the 3 coaching calls per week. You have 24-hour access to me as well. That's why I can only take on 5 individuals. That's a lot of bandwidth. You can reach out to me if you're about to go on a date, if you have questions about a woman that you're dealing with, you have life issues that you're facing. I'm yours 24 hours a day. I'll pick up and I'll respond. I'm accessible. And also, we're going to meet up in person, wherever you are in the world, because I coach men all over the world. We will meet up at least one time in person after I'm confident that you can make an improvement based on the coaching that I've been giving you. And we can go out to a bar, lounge, club. We can just hang out. I can observe you in person as you talk to women, and I can give you an in-person assessment and help you to move forward. It's a value-filled proposition that I'm giving to you. And you need to become a particular type of man to grace the stages that you want to appear on. There's something internally that's calling you to be the exact man that you know you're supposed to be. That's what a year-long coaching journey affords you with me. You give me 1 year of your life will never be the same. If you're interested in the year-long coaching journey, then I want you to email me at matt@matthewchorne.com. I want you to leave mentorship in the subject matter of the email. Leave your name, your phone number, tell me about yourself in terms of where you are and where you want to be. I'll do a full assessment and I will call you and we will determine if we're a good fit to work with one another over the course of a year. This is a magical space. That's why I can only take on 5 people. The slots are filling up, but I still have some slots available. So reach out to me if you want to change your life for the better. Matt@matthewchorne.com. Lastly, my dating coaching community on the school platform. Magical things are happening in this community. We have a coaching call once a week on via Zoom, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You have direct access to me once a week. I do a monologue on a particular topic. We talk about that, and then I do dating coaching for the remaining of the hour. Everybody on the call can ask me whatever they want to ask me for the duration of an hour. It's a magical space. It's an affordable space. And then I make 2 exclusive videos for the community every week. And I allow the members of the community to give me their topics that they want me to make videos on. It's a very personalized space. Every video is archived. Every Zoom call that I've had is archived as well. So you can catch up and then you can jump right in and we can pick it up right where we need to. So if you're interested in joining my dating coaching community on the school platform, the information to sign up will be pinned to the top of the comments as well as in the video description. I've enjoyed spending some time with you all tonight. I hope that you took a lot away from this because I put a lot into creating this message. And just understand, the true work is done before you leave the house. If you do the work before you leave the house, all you have to do is recognize the women that recognize you when you leave the house. There's no work involved. A collection of women will develop, and quite possibly one woman from the collection will show you that she's the one for you. As opposed to trying to keep a collection of women, shape-shifting, manipulating, and being any man. You don't have to be any man when you discover the true man within. When you discover the true man within, your world is an exact reflection of the best that you have to offer to it. Your experiences are fulfilling. Your reality is robust because everything is exact. I said as much as I can, man. I'll see you all soon.